What's going on, boys and girls? Oh my goodness. How angry do I want to get? I was going to do my match reaction to the Arsenal-Liverpool game straight after the match. I didn't have to start work till a bit later this morning, so I had time to do it. But I was so angry that I knew that if I tried to talk about the game directly after the full-time whistle, I just probably wouldn't make a lot of sense. And so I decided to give myself a bit of time to calm down and reflect a little bit on the game. But I've got to say, despite it now being a good few hours since the match finished, I'm so disappointed. I'm so frustrated at the performance of the team. The result can happen. Despite Liverpool being nowhere near the team that they were last season, and despite the fact they are 12, 13 points behind us or whatever it is, it's still Liverpool. They have quality players in that team. They actually came into this game having not lost in the last 9, so the result can happen. But it's the way in which we approached the game and the way in which we ultimately played the game that has left me feeling so incredibly disappointed and upset. Off the back of City and Villa dropping points, this was an opportunity for us to go 8 points clear. In my personal opinion, and it might be a crazy opinion, but 8 points with the way City and Villa are looking, or should I say more around City, I don't think Villa were ever in the conversation, but the way in which City are looking right now, unless they were to do an absolute madness in the transfer window in January, I just don't think they have it in them to claw back an 8-point lead, and I don't think we would mess up that badly for them to be able to catch us. So I felt like if we were to win this game, we would at least have some fingertips with one hand on that Premier League trophy. And I just expected the players to rise to the occasion. I thought the crowd was electric before kickoff. You could sense that the fans were going into this game sort of in party mode, this level of expectation of this is the chance to really kind of put that first nail in it. And look, to be fair to the team, I thought we started quite well. I thought those first 20 minutes, we were in complete control. You could clearly see that Liverpool had come into this game with the mindset of we are going to sit back, be solid defensively, and try and catch Arsenal on the counter-attack. And so I thought we controlled that first 20 minutes really well. Again, like a lot of performances this season, we dominated possession, we had the game under control, but we really didn't create much in the way of opportunity. I think the first real shot on target by Arsenal was in and around the 17th minute when Saka fired a kind of shot from outside the box, a curling effort that Alisson comfortably saved. And then it was around the 25th minute where Liverpool started to kind of claw themselves back into the game. It came off a mix-up between Saliba and Raya that led to Raya kind of just about getting a foot to the ball. It found its way to Bradley, who kind of lofted a shot over Raya and it hit the crossbar and bounced off, and when we were able to clear it. But that was kind of the beginning of a 10-12 minute period whereby Liverpool kind of took back a little bit more control of the first half, and then I felt like we wrangled back control for the last kind of 15-20 minutes of that half. There were a couple of other opportunities in that first half. Timber cutting the ball back in and Rice getting a shot away, which if Trossard could have controlled that shot from Rice, he was onside and he would have had a really simple kind of left or right of Alisson, and that would have been a goal. But he couldn't get near it. He kind of swung a foot at it and missed at it. And then the only other chance that I can think of in that first half was a nice bit of play between Odegaard. He fed it to Rice, and Rice kind of first timed the ball into Saka in the middle of the box. And Saka's first touch just kind of took it away from him a little, and he couldn't get a shot off, and Liverpool kind of scrambled and got the ball away. And that was really it for the first half. It was, as I said, it was a half that we dominated for the majority of it without creating any real chances. And at halftime, I'm sitting there going, right, Arsenal are going to come out in this second half. They're going to up the intensity significantly. And it'll just be a matter of time before we get that first goal. And from there, I thought maybe we'd nick another one and kind of come out 2-0 winners. And it was a shocking second half from Arsenal. I'm not quite sure how Liverpool were able to do this, but they completely turned the momentum of the match. I thought for the majority of the second half, Liverpool did to us what we did to them in the first half, which was just dominate possession. They controlled the match. Again, didn't really do anything with that possession and that dominance. I think in the entire game, despite having 6 or 7 shots, I don't think Liverpool had a shot on target. So it's not like they were peppering us and we were lucky to escape with them not scoring in this match. But I was just flabbergasted at how timid we were. We just didn't seem to kind of show any desire to put Liverpool to the sword. We came into this game as full strength as we could possibly be, bar Calafiori. The only person from our starting 11 that wasn't available for this game was Calafiori. And a left back shouldn't really put us in a position where we are blaming a result on the absence of our left back. Liverpool, on the other hand, came into this match with no fit striker and no Salah. So they were depleted, and this was just a missed opportunity. I don't know how many times I have to say that, but this was a missed opportunity by Arsenal. I just couldn't believe what I was watching in that second half. We just couldn't get anything going. The players looked leggy. I didn't see any fight. I didn't see a desire to wrestle back control of that second half. I didn't see any urgency. The players that I was looking to pre-game to be the difference makers, the Declan Rices, Odegaard, Saka, disappointing. I thought Trossard was really poor tonight. I think that early yellow card hindered his performance in the sense of I don't think he could fully commit to the game, if you know what I mean, knowing that he was on a yellow card. Gyökeres was shocking. I mean, I've listened to a lot of the post-match commentary on this game, and it's almost like everyone wants to say it. Everyone's thinking about Gyökeres. They just don't want to say it. And it just doesn't look good. Like, I don't know how we are at the halfway point of the season and this guy looks so bad. The other thing that blows my mind is we're so disjointed. Like, I don't see any chemistry between Gyökeres and the wide players and Odegaard. I don't see any chemistry. It's like they've never played together. Gyökeres, I've given up on him being that link man, that person who can kind of come grab the ball outside the box, create something, distribute it to someone else, get a shot off. At the very least, put yourself in that box, move around, create mayhem, be on the end of balls coming into the box. He's not even doing that. I just don't know what he's doing. I don't know what's going through his mind. He's obviously incredibly low on confidence right now. We are playing nowhere near to his strengths, so I don't put all the blame on him, but he just looks really bad. I don't know what else to say. He looks really bad, and he looks so far off the player we thought he was going to be and the player that we ultimately need him to be. This is the type of game where Gyökeres was supposed to be the difference maker. He was supposed to be that guy who just needed one chance and we win this game 1-0 because he's put the ball in the back of the net. And he's not that guy. And I don't know what we do about it. I don't know what we do. In the second half, again, no real chances. Szoboszlai had a couple of free kicks. One was shocking, the other one was just over the bar. Liverpool, Arsenal, Madueke had a good bit of skill on the right where he kind of came in, cut the ball in, fizzed it across the goal. No one there. Martinelli had a half kind of chance towards the end. Oh, actually, there was one unbelievable chance, and that was the very last kick of the game off the back of that corner. The one player you want to get his head on that cross was Gabriel, and I just don't know what he did there. I don't know if it was the rain, I don't know if he was tired, but he gets up above everyone like he always does, and all he has to do is get that on target, and that goes in the back of the net. And he completely mistimes it, fluffs it, it hits his chest and knee and goes out for a goal kick, and the final whistle's blown. But that was an unbelievable chance. Like, he was right there on the goal line. All that has to do is hit his head and go on target, and that's a goal. And we're celebrating a very undeserved 1-0 win. But yeah, like I said, I can't get too angry at this team. Like, at the end of the day, we're top of the Premier League, 6-point lead. We're in the semi-final of the League Cup. The FA Cup kicks off this weekend. We're top of the Champions League. Like, I can't get too angry. But the thing that disappoints me about Arsenal is whenever we get these opportunities to really make a statement, like really kind of lay down that flag of like, yeah, we are the best team, we just never seem to take it. Like, and I think this is why people still don't speak about Arsenal the way we want them to talk about us. It's because we just don't have that killer instinct in the big occasions. You know, I look at the Liverpools, the Man Cities, the Manchester Uniteds, the Chelseas when they were in their pomp. They would batter teams and they would win the big matches, the big occasions. Don't get me wrong. Just because we've lost and drawn to Liverpool this season doesn't mean that we won't win the Premier League. And at the end of the day, if and when we win the Premier League, we're not going to care about these results. But it's these big games where you want, as a fan, your team to go, get out my way, get out my way. Like Liverpool used to do to us when we were crap. And we just don't seem to do it, you know. Man City at home, Chelsea away, Aston Villa away, Liverpool away. You know, the only time we've done it this season was Aston Villa at home a week or two ago. But outside of that, we just always seem to fluff our lines in these big games where the whole world's looking at us to go on then, show us how good you are. And we just never really seem to take advantage of that or make the most of it. And I was just really surprised at how timid our players looked tonight. It was almost like, I don't know. I just don't. It was almost like we were playing for the draw. We were happy with the draw. I don't know. I'd love to be a fly in the dressing room, both before the game, at halftime, and at full time, to understand what the conversations were that were taking place in that changing room. The other thing I want to touch on, that incident with Martinelli at the end, I think that's being way out overdone. Some of the anger and energy that's being put towards Martinelli, I think, is ridiculous. One thing that is driving me nuts about the Premier League in recent years is we are now starting to become the Italian Spanish league, where we've got players falling over all the time, rolling around, trying to win fouls, trying to waste time. And in that split moment, the first thing that came to my mind when Bradley went down was he is trying to waste time. He's trying to buy Liverpool time to run the clock out and get a draw. So I am 100% convinced that that's what Martinelli was thinking. And in the frustration of the moment, he was trying to move Bradley over the line so that we could continue to play the game and try and find a last-minute winner. Now, was it nice to see? No. But let's not try and pretend that Gabriel Martinelli is this kind of ugly, awful person who knew that Bradley was injured and was trying to further injure him or do anything like that. That was a moment of frustration where it looked like the player was doing what so many players do every single game we watch nowadays, which is fall down, roll over, and try and waste time. So I think that's being massively overplayed. We all know what type of character Gabby Martinelli is, and he's not that type of player. What else? I thought Jesus was poor when he came on, and I think it further exacerbates the issue we've got in the striker position, in the sense that I know he scored that wonder goal against Aston Villa and we thought, right, here he is, he'll do the job till the rest of the season. But I just think the truth is we're really short in terms of quality in that number 9 position. And I just really hope that doesn't come back to bite us come the end of the season. I thought Saka was really disappointing. I know he had an okay first half, but he was rested against Bournemouth for this game, and I just thought he would come out really strong in this game, and I just thought he was poor. By his standards, he was poor. and I want more from him. I was surprised Arteta took him off. You know, the one thing with Saka is no matter how bad of a game he's having, he's that one player who can create that one magic cross or that goal out of nowhere. So I was surprised he came off as early as he did. I think the only player that can kind of keep his head held high is Timber. I thought Timber was good. I thought overall Saliba and Gabriel didn't do anything wrong. Nketiah came off injured. I hope that's not a lengthy injury, because I thought Miles Lewis-Skelly looked way off it. Like, Frimpong was having a lot of success in this game, but as soon as Miles Lewis-Skelly came on, you just felt like Frimpong had the better of him every engagement. Just a missed opportunity, a really poor performance, and it's just one of those ones we're going to have to take on the chin and move on from, learn from. I don't think it's the end of the world. At the end of the day, if you would have given me a 6-point lead at the beginning of January, I would have bit your hand off for that. And again, I think my confidence in this comes down to the squad that we have, but also the fact that I just don't think City are the team they need to be in order to push us the way everyone thinks that they might go on to push us. I just don't see it unless they have a madness in the January window. So yeah, anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It is what it is. Move on to the FA Cup on the weekend, and then we can look forward to a semi-final against Chelsea. So yeah, see you on the next one. Have a great one. Bye.